this is Mary White from MW for Designs, here to do my third in a series of WordPress.com website tutorials. And today we're going to go over how to add posts to our navigation, so to load them into our news page, and also how to create brand new posts. So to do that, what we need to do is get back to the dashboard. So we want to actually do My Site. So we click on that and it opens up the dashboard. The blog post is where we would do the post. But before we do that, we're going to establish that our home page is going to be our front page and that our news page is going to be what I call the bucket, where we're going to dump in all of our blog posts that we create. So to do that, I'm going to use the customizer. It will open up the customizer, and what we're going to look at is this page settings. We're going to click on that, and we're going to use a static page as our home page. We are going to select which one is going to be the static home page, and it is going to be the one called home. So you can have any page you want. You can even add a brand new page if you don't have a page created already. So here it allows you to add a page here. The next thing is to create your post page. And what that means is it's going to be the blog post page, which honestly you're never going to put any content in by editing the pages, but the posts are all going to dump into it. And I always say it's like a bucket where your posts go into. The page is just the bucket that holds all the posts. So we're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to come down to the news, because that's what we're going to call our post. And as you can see, it already dumped in the two that came with our original build. Or I think there was only one. Maybe there's two. No, there's only one. I had two pictures. Sorry. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and publish that. When it's published, we have these arrows to take us back to the customizer. We can actually make other changes to customizer. We're not going to do that at this time. We're going to come over here to exit. I am going to go back to my dashboard. I'm going to come down until I see the blog post. I'm going to view how many posts I have, and right now I have a single published post and 0 in a draft status. I'm going to add a new post, and this is going to be titled, and the title is just like a page title, except this is a post. And post, and I think this is where people get confused between pages and posts. Pages usually, okay, and I'm going to say usually, are pretty static content, okay? Posts usually are dynamic content. And so you're sitting there going, what's the difference between static and dynamic? Well, static means it's going to stay the same. So if I tell you that I'm creating a page about me, the information about me is going to stay pretty much the same. It's not going to change a whole lot. Maybe once in a while I'll go up and update it. Maybe if I've added or done something new, I may update the About Me page. But most of the time, the information is static across multiple months. Blog posts definitely are dynamic, because you will be creating new posts, a series of posts, things that are going to be changing all the time. So there's the difference that it's just a simple difference that I'm talking about right now, but those are the differences between static and dynamic. The post title can be anything you want. And so I am just going to put in example posts. And then I'm going to come down here and say this is an example post on WordPress.com. And then I like to start telling people when they're going through creating their posts, just kind of outline. So the very first thing, posts using the editor, publishing. So I just kind of outline what I'm going to talk about, and then I go back and I fill in all the information. You do have the availability to see the word count of how many words you're writing here, and this is kind of nice because it gives you an idea of, okay, oh, 13 words, that's not really a whole lot of words for a post, so I probably want to up that. If you want to change the styling of the text, so I know each of these outlined headers here are going to be headers. So I'm just going to put in this is what you see is what you get editor. Okay, and it is kind of what you see is what you get editor, but it also isn't, because the fonts that I'm seeing here, once I go to the front of the website and see what my audience is seeing, may not be the same. So it's kind of a what you see is what you get, because as I'm typing I can kind of see what I'm seeing, but it's kind of not. And then the display, it also depends on how the theme works. Publishing, so I have the option to you have multiple options to publish. You have the ability to save it in a draft status where you haven't published it yet, and you're going to have an editor or somebody read it. You can schedule it for the future. So if you are one of those people that just loves to sit down and write a lot in one day, you could actually write multiple posts and have them scheduled to click off every other day of the week. So you can actually have multiples. You can have scheduled, you can have drafts, and I want to have multiple statuses. And I want to have published. So published is the actual version that is out there for everybody to see. So published, drafts, and schedules. Need to be published. Schedules are set to schedule at a specific date and time. So that works out really well. And if you're wondering what I was just doing there, that is Grammarly. That's another thing that you might be interested in. It's a free tool that you can get that just checks your spelling and checks your grammar and also checks the spacing between words. I love it. So here I'm going to go ahead and do heading 2s for each of these just to make them look nice. If within this you have extra information, and I come up with the WYSIWYG editor, and then maybe I want to start talking about Gutenberg in here, which is the new editor that is coming out with our posts with WordPress.com. You might want to have that as a W3. So I have these as my W2s, or I'm sorry, not W2s, H2s, which is heading 2s, and this is a heading 3, and this is my title heading, which is a heading 1. So this just kind of outlines my block type editing, and we'll talk more about that in another video. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at the statuses again. So publish immediately. If I actually want it to be pending, okay, so I want it to be pending for review. If I want it to be admin or password protected, I can do that. And so it actually puts it to update. So now as I make changes here in the post, I want to make sure that I update here. I'm going to go through this. This allows me to do the multimedia. This allows me to change whether I'm a paragraph, heading 1 through heading 6, or pre-formatted is for if I want to put code out there. This allows me to bold, italicize, put in bullet points, So if I decided that I want to take these statuses here and make them into bullet points, I could do that. So maybe, so I have multiple statuses, drafts, and then I just want to have bullet points because reading with bullet points is a little easier. So I can come down here and create the bullet points. If I don't want this one to be a bullet point, that is a toggle, and I just turn that on and off with the toggle. If I want these not to be bullet points, but I want them to be a numeric list, I can actually come here and change that numeric list there. So I'm going to go back to bullet points with that. If I want to add links, so let's say that I want to add a link to the Gutenberg, I think it's a plugin right now, or if I want to find where the beta is for that, I could actually add a link here. And when I click on that, it allows me to grab from my pages or to open a brand new. So to add a link, I could actually add a link from outside the website, so an external link. If I want to add block quotes, so if somebody has quoted about something and I want to add a block quote, if I want to align left, center align information, or right align, if I want to proofread, it can actually check to see for errors. Like I said, I'm using this Grammarly, so it's doing it as I'm typing. If I have this closed, this is that little toggle. So when it is horizontal, it's closed. When it's vertical, it's open. It allows me to strike through information. So if that isn't valid information, I can actually put a strike through with it. Used it one time with somebody that had classes, and as the classes were finished, they had a series of 16 classes, and as the classes were finished and the dates had met or exceeded the time, I would go through the website and just strike through the dates. So that's kind of a nice thing to do. So I'm going to highlight that again, and we will take that off. So it's also a toggle, underline, horizontal line. So if I want to have a horizontal line between each of my H2s, I could actually put in a horizontal line to separate the information with these nice little horizontal lines. Just a visual. I can justify it so that it tries to justify it within the space. I can change the text color, and this is inline text color. I can also paste from a Word document and strip out anything that Word might be adding extra. I can clear formatting if I got just a ton of formatting from maybe Microsoft Word and I don't want it. I can use special characters, copyright, trademark. Those are all special characters that are out there for me to use. If I click on it, it will open up the special characters that we can look at. Diamonds, hearts, kind of fun. So I might find something that I like. Increase indents or decrease indents, that actually changes to actually allowing you to have the bullet points or not, and then undo. So I hope that all makes sense. If we want to, we can actually go back to the history and see what revisions we had, or we can just do an update. It will update the post. So this is it for the post. We've saved the post. We will go look at what it looks like on the front end, and we will talk about adding some multimedia and images to start making this look a little nicer. And I don't know why it didn't come across. Still in draft status. Why did it not publish? Pending review. So pending review. We will actually status. Oh, we want to click that off, pending review. We're going to publish it again. It's publishing. I'm going to also check it before we go and look on the front. I think maybe that worked. Okay, now we're going to look at the front. So we're going to visit the site, and we're going to actually go visit site. When we come here, this is the home page. It's a static home page. If we go to the About page, if we go to the News page, here we're seeing our post now. So it actually shows the date that it was completed, and it doesn't have any images in it, but that's the next video that I'm going to create, is go through some multimedia and bring some images, maybe some videos in here, so that we have a little more that we can look at. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe. You'll get the latest and greatest of what I'm talking about. Check out my next video. We're going to be talking about multimedia, adding images and videos to your WordPress.com websites. Thank you very much.